I wanted to play a little of Kurt Signetti too. I was listening on his preview of Oregon, his press conference.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you, he's interesting because he's a red ass.
Oh yeah.
Of epic proportions, but he's a good disguiser of it. And I don't know if you'll get that in this clip, but I watched his whole thing, and he's intense.
You think?
He is intense.
I win, Google me.
But at least he's kind of like Brian Kelly intense, but nicer to people about it.
He's not killing people in scissors lifts.
But he's also kind of passively aggressive. He is also kind of passive aggressive in his dismissal of questions.
Okay.
But he's polite enough. So he's weird, and you don't get much from him. He doesn't give you a whole lot at all. But I wanted to play. It's about 1:12 of him talking about Oregon.
All right, good bye week. Got rested up, got practice in, kept the fundamentals and timing sharp, and now it's 100% focus on Oregon. Great opponent, great team, a lot of great players, extremely well coached. Big, fast, athletic, physical, depth. Coach Lanning done a tremendous job recruiting, development, retention. He probably one of the most impressive young coaching phenoms to come around in a while, I would say. Haven't been in this game for a little bit. They're a great football team. Looking forward to the challenge, confidence in our team.
All right.
Zach? Yeah, Kurt, you mentioned their depth. Is it a step above? I mean, you talked about Oregon being kind of one of the teams with limited resources back in April. Is that kind of a direct result of that, where you see just their depth is a step above maybe the rest of the Big Ten?
Well, I don't know what their resources are. All I know is they got a lot of good players.
So there was a question in there. I don't know if you guys heard it, but
something about resources.
Well, the question was, because Signetti was the one who came out during the offseason and said, we know the teams who are spending $40 million, and he named them.
Yeah.
Now, he didn't name Oregon in there, but
maybe he knew they were on the schedule.
Yeah.
He was like, just shut up.
Well, he did. So the guy asked him, he said, when you were talking about resources over the offseason, is this what you're talking about, seeing a team like this?
Yeah.
And he punted big time. He's like, I ain't going. No. I saw what happened to Mike Gundy. I ain't saying yes. I don't know their resources. It's a good football team.
I do appreciate.
Smart guy.
Well, that was like the Northwestern coach did the same thing. I think that was a lesson of keep my name out your mouth when they played Oklahoma State, because the Northwestern guy, no, it's nothing but don't poke the bear. Don't. But it is true. Anytime you're playing one of those 10 schools that spends what they spend, you're up against it. It's not an even playing field. And this game reminds me a lot of, and we were talking about it yesterday, this reminds me a lot of when Oregon played LSU back in the day with Chip Kelly. You have a very well-coached team with some NFL guys lacking depth that's really buttoned up, and they overcome some deficits with scheme. And then you're playing an LSU team that is also buttoned up, but just has better players. That's Indiana. Indiana has an NFL quarterback. They have 2 NFL receivers. They probably have the best DB in this game. They have an NFL D-end, NFL defensive tackle, NFL linebacker, and then there's a giant drop-off. Like, they've got 6 or 7 guys that would play and play a lot and start at Oregon. And then after that, it's not so much. And so this comes down to, like, any time you play an Ohio State or you play a team like Oregon or whatever, you're going to have a talent gap. And so can Signetti go on the road and overcome that talent gap with coaching? Because that's what this will be if they find a way to do it. And last year, when Indiana played teams that were just physically better than they were, and that was Notre Dame and Ohio State, they came out and got punched in the mouth. And that's what Indiana does. And I stopped short of asking Lanning, but it's when you get a defense that does as many multiple things that Indiana does, and simulated pressures, and they rotate their safeties a lot, the easiest way to stop any of that is to just run it down their throat. Because when you're doing all kinds of shifting and presenting looks and moving around on defense, if a team's running the ball for 6 yards a carry on you, like Notre Dame and Ohio State did, you will stop doing it, and you have to just line up and play defense. So My guess is that Oregon is just going to cram it down their throat and try to make Indiana prove that physically they can hold up. And then the other side of things, Indiana has not been good when blitzed. These last 2 years, even this year, when you put pressure with the blitz, they struggle, but Oregon doesn't blitz. They haven't had to. So and I know he won't answer that question, but I would love to know what their plan is to heat up Mendoza. Do they send pressure, or are they like, no, this is what we do, and we're confident that our front four can get enough pressure and we'll play coverage behind it. It's a nice cat and mouse game.
So here's what Signetti said in April. He said there are 5 or 6 programs out there that have unlimited NIL resources. It's kind of scary for everybody else. Our little pot of gold at Indiana is pretty nice, but we're not at 40 million or 30 million or even 25 million. Yeah. If you want to be the best, you've got to be able to compete against the best. Right now, I understand that is Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Texas Tech because of their oil money. I think Notre Dame's up there pretty good right there too. Miami, of course. That's what he said in April. Yeah. So he did mention Oregon.
Yeah. And by the way, there's nothing untrue about what he said. It just, I think there's a difference between saying it in the offseason and saying it the week before you're getting ready to play or making excuses. Yeah. And believe me, when bringing that up, old Kurt was wise to just be like, "Yep,
I don't know.
I know what you did.
I don't know their resources. How would I know that?"
He was very curmudgeon-y.
Yeah,
I don't know their reasons.
Well, he is. I don't know if you've ever heard him. He just is that.
He's intense.
Well, and it's funny. It took him a while to land. He was at like Indiana, University of Pennsylvania, and then Elon, and then James Madison. You know, he's not a young guy. Like he mentioned Lanning being a phenom. Lanning's what, 37? Dude, Signetti, he's 64, and he's just now getting a crack. You would think, and he has been successful everywhere he's gone. You know, it's kind of crazy that it took him this long. He was, 62, 61, 62 when he got that job in Indiana, which is not a great job. And this is why I say to anyone, Oregon State or UCLA, stop trying to grab scraps. Stop trying to hold on to the past.
Shut up.
Go find the guy at James Madison. Go find the guy at Elon. Go find the guy that when you watch his offenses or defenses, you're like, geez, I know that's not like a high level, but this is problematic and they're really well coached. And let's see what he can do with more resources. And granted, if he is rocking and rolling in Indiana, he'll be gone in 2 years. Although maybe his age, maybe they can keep him, but he'll go somewhere else. But he has changed Indiana football in the span of 1 year, all because they took a shot on someone at James Madison.
It's weird that Indiana's good.
I know, right?
Just odd.
It seems unnatural.
Yeah, it's kind of like when Stanford got good.
Yeah.
You know?
What? Stanford. And they were good for a decade plus. Vanderbilt being good right now kind of throws me for a loop a little bit. Like Vandy.
Yeah. That's college football now, though.
Yeah. Tech's all right. Georgia
Tech.
Tech.
Can be good anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, Georgia Tech. Texas Tech's good.
Yeah. Well, we know why that. I mean, that's the definition of we've got $100 million. So, and that is the thing. You said it yesterday, right? It just, if you've got money, you can change your fate in this world.
You're seeing more parity.
Yes.
And it's because of that.
Yes.
I mean, you mentioned Missouri's good.
Yep.
Those are the schools that are rising up. They're able to compete better now.
Yes. I do believe that this has opened more. It's harder than ever to win a national title because you have to go through all these good teams in the playoff, but it's opening the door and you can't stockpile players. And I do think it's giving teams that aren't traditional blue bloods, maybe not every year you're going to get those same teams because there's going to be ebb and flows, but you are offering an opportunity to Texas Tech and Indiana and Boise State and schools like this. You're giving them an opportunity every now and then to get a shot at the prize. And so this idea that the NIL and the playoff was going to shrink that pool, I disagree. I still think it's going to be those same teams that are ultimately winning the majority of these, but it's creating more opportunities than it is taking them away.